Yes, welcome, welcome. And for today's episode, I actually wanted to speak about something that is so cliche to the whole entire podcast itself, and that is women. We're going to talk about women. And before we even get into this, I just want to say thank you for the support. Even if I don't necessarily hear, I'm not promoting this that much as how I should, because this was like a little secret. Sooner or later, the secret will be revealed. But for everyone who has tuned in, everyone who has listened and shared and liked, I appreciate it, and welcome to a Whole Woman podcast where anyone can listen, but this is dedicated to ladies. It's a podcast where I talk about my feelings about certain topics that are pretty common. They happen every day, but it's just my opinion, my perspective. And of course, at the end of every single topic that is shared, there's a little inspo, there's a little there's a little boost, there's a little positivity to get you going, because it's not just gossiping, it's not just coming on here and talking for no reason. I feel like most of these things that I actually address, as I stated, they're very common issues. Sometimes people don't know how to feel, sometimes people want relatability, and that's what I'm here to do, to relate to you and tell you not necessarily what to do, but give you a little heads up and say, try this or listen to what I have to say, because I've been there, I've seen it, I've done that, and it's worked out for me. So, with all of that being said, today's topic is actually about women, it's about girls, and it's actually titled What I Don't Like About Women. Works out. I will start back season 2 sooner than I planned, and my mic is dying. So, with that being said, thank you. Share your thoughts, your ideas, anything. This is an open place, open space for males and females. It's just that we cater to the females with the topics, but anyone can tune in, because on the Whole Woman podcast, we're addressing the issues of the mind, body, and soul so that we can bloom and learn to become whole. And let's get right into it. So initially, I was thinking to myself, should I title it What I Don't Like About Girls, or should it just be like Mean Girls? But I'm going to do like a hyphenated title, because it's essentially what I don't like about females, and then I'm listing like the mean girls, the girls, and the male centered type of girls, like. And I just want to say as well, because disclaimer, I know that we live in a society that is considered to be like a man's world, and you would think that females would not necessarily try to change the narrative that this is a man's place, and we're always supposed to be weak and subjected to them and whatever rules that they have in place. And I'm also not a feminist, right? But the purpose of this topic is to highlight the fact that even though many feminists actually, or many women, are out there and they're not satisfied with how um males expect them to be, or what society expects of them as a female, oftentimes they're the biggest opposition to themselves. Necessarily they're not making the rest of the female species look good. You understand? They're lessening the impact of what is supposed to be sisterhood and femininity and all of that. And as I stated, I am not a feminist. I believe in tradition. I'm very traditional. I believe that a man should lead and all of that. But at the same time, I do feel like women, of course, women have a place. Women have essential roles. A woman is irreplaceable. So, yes. So, I'm not saying as well that there aren't good females, that there aren't females who are grounded and level minded and all of that. This is just a topic where we're talking about traits that I personally don't like, and how persons definitely interact with these type of personalities on a whole, and how they can really work around it, because I'm sure that in 2025, you would not think that there are still women, even grown women, who are quote unquote mean girls and bullies. And I think that's just crazy, in my opinion. Like, honestly, like, why are you grown and still bullying people? Like, what do you get out of that? So, the first thing the first subtopic is, of course, mean girls. Now, people, I just want to say again, there's lots of things that I can like about a female. There's lots of things that I, as a female, love about us females. the way we smell, the way we carry ourselves, how some women continue to prove the world wrong when they get into certain fields, when they get into certain careers. I love the fact that we're naturally nurturers. We're naturally girly. Like, there are just certain aspects, both mentally, physically, emotionally, that I can definitely appreciate about a woman. But there are women, like what we categorize as mean girls, the ones who pinpoint and pick on persons because they don't look the same, or because they don't necessarily meet the type of idea that they have in their mind as to how others are supposed to be. Meaning, you might have a girl and she's from, like, she's from a different place, she's from the city, and someone is from the countryside, and they don't like that, so they decide to make their lives a living hell. Like, even in workplaces, you might hear people talking about how, they have a hard time at work because there's always somebody on their box. And I'm not talking about micromanaging. I'm talking about beyond working. There's just somebody there who makes their lives uncomfortable. And best believe, more times than not, it's always like a girl, it's always a female. There's just some mean girls out there in their prime. And by prime, I mean in their big woman age, like their 30s, their 40s. And I'm not age shaming or anything, but I just feel like after a certain point in life, there's just certain things that you have to let go. There's just certain things that you do not do. But best believe it, there are some people, for some reason, they did not get that wow, maturity boost, or they did not understand that persons are going to be different than them when they go into certain spaces, that they're supposed to treat people normal, they're supposed to treat them like human beings, they're supposed to treat them like equals. There's just some people who have like some sort of psychological issue within their minds that allow them to treat others as inferiors. And I personally, I believe that whether it be work, whether it be school, whether it be, honestly, any setting that you can think about, like, learn how to put people in their place. And I don't mean like in a negative type of way. I don't mean that you need to start a ruckus and just get up and blare and, like, don't necessarily lose your character. But I've realized that when it is that you allow persons more than one opportunity to honestly shame you, or even um beat you down, basically, they will always, it's almost like an invitation to them. They say, if I say this to this person and they don't retaliate, they will come back again. And I'm not saying that people won't have bad moments, that there won't be times where people, they say something that was out of place, but both of you can understand that it was just in the heat of the moment. I'm talking about persons who you literally see going around trying to make everyone's life a living hell, and they decide to just pick they just decide to come to you. And by they, as I stated, most times, oftentimes, it's just always like a female, it's just always a woman who's trying to make everyone come to the level of miserableness that she is at. I personally believe, like, if you can stay clear of these people, fine, no problem. But if it's a case where they constantly persist, like, set boundaries. Like, you don't need to lose who you are. You don't need to be disrespectful to set boundaries for them to understand that you're just not the one, the two, nor the three. And another thing as well, when it comes down to dealing with these type of females, like, you have to understand that oftentimes people on a whole, it's really a people issue. Like, it's a personal issue. Like, it's what is inside of them that you're projecting onto others. And it sounds very common, but it really is the truth, because sometimes you will see people who, like, for example, they're not empathetic enough. Like, you tell them something and it's like whatever, and it's like whatever to them. Like, it doesn't move them. But if you share with somebody else, it's a different reaction. That's oftentimes because that person, they can't relate, because that's just not in them. It's not in them to um have that type of emotional intelligence, or that type of relatability, because they don't know what that is like. They don't have that type of experience. They don't have that type of bond with anyone around them, so therefore they can't empathize with others. I think that empathy, honestly, on a whole, is just, it's so crucial to have it, because sometimes people don't want you to sympathize or be picked. Well, sympathy has its place and its time, but sometimes empathy is really what allows you to look at life differently, to look at someone's situation and be like, whoa, like they're going through a lot and I need to tread lightly, I need to treat them differently. And oftentimes the mean girls, they don't have that. So you have to understand that it's what's in them that they're projecting to others, and it's essential you just put them in their place. So I don't like that. There's just too many mean girls nowadays as big women, especially like in corporate societies. And I just think that that's like, I don't know. I'm the type of girl, like, I do not, as long as it's not something about me, I will never let it bother me. Meaning that, like, I'm not gonna see someone and they're wearing a type of outfit, they're wearing clothes, or they're like, that's just not my business. It's just I'm gonna look and think about what I'm wearing before I look at someone else. That's just not my place. That's just not something that gets me going. I don't get it. I don't understand it. When people pinpoint and be like, oh, look at what she's wearing, or look at her hairstyle, like, it's something that it just puzzles me, because I'm so in tune with myself and elevating myself in so many aspects. Not saying that if a girl or if a friend comes to me and they ask me our opinion, I'm not going to share it to them. But if, for example, I know that somebody has on an outfit that is not necessarily something that I would wear, I'm not gonna say it and be like, "Oh, that's so gross," or "What were you thinking?" Like that. I have never been that type of girl, but for some reason, even in today's world, we have these grown women and they're doing this, and that's just bizarre to me. But if you can, you put them in their place, because either ways, like, life, things can go two ways, right? You can put them in their place, they know never to mess with you again, or you can tolerate it until one day you explode. Remember the episode, emotional suppression versus aggressive. Ugh, I don't even know my episodes, but I made an episode. Oh my gosh, what was it called? Emotional suppression versus aggression, something like that. I don't even remember. Oh wait, aggression versus emotional suppression. Oh my gosh, people, just check out the channel. It's so bad. Anyways, yes. So another thing that I just don't like about females, like, I actually don't like when females are like, this is similar to how I just said like too many times in that one sentence. I actually don't like that. That's not cute. But it happens. It happens. It's exposure. When you are exposed, I don't even know what I'm exposed to at this point, because I do not even watch TV. But I guess the earlier aspects of my life where I was so in tune or so invested into like American television, or just I love accents. So I have a thing about accents. I guess that's it. I don't know. Anyways, another thing that I just can't, and I know this might cause like a raise of an eyebrow, is, but I don't like girls. I don't even like the phrase. It's so Gen Z, but I do not like it. I'm a Gen Zer, people. Well, I'm on the cusp, but I actually don't like the whole idea of a girls. Like, there's no such thing as a girls, right? I'm not, don't get me wrong, there are some women who genuinely love to give compliments. They will stand for a girl. Remember, you literally have feminists, so they're all about women's right. They're all about speaking up and standing up for women. But I just don't like when people use this expression nowadays, because oftentimes it's just not the truth. People literally get to, oh, I'm a girl. You're not. Because I've seen so many instances. People say that they're a girl for people who oftentimes, I don't want to say, because attraction and beauty is so subjective, and it's really, as they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But it's oftentimes when they don't fear that the person is competition enough, or they don't feel like the person is on the same level as them, so they tend to stick by them. They tend to tell you that, yes girl. But as soon as somebody who is conventionally attractive, or somebody who's getting more attention, they either remain silent, they disregard this person, like they don't give them the same energy as they would have given somebody who is not on the same level as them, or somebody who, I don't want to say praises, yeah, but yeah, I can say that, somebody who praises them. Like, I've realized that there are just some girls, and I will never be that. Like, I will never, and I'm just gonna jump into the next, what I don't like. I know that not everybody is going to be a leader, but I sometimes don't like girls who are followers. Like, I just can't stand it. Like, their fault, their fault, They're fault. What am I saying? They're faultfully loyal. They're loyal to a fault, and no matter what the person that they have their loyalties to does, they're still going to be on their side. Like, people, I just want to say as well, I'm the type of girl, if I know that my friend is loud, right? And somebody comes to me and says, "Oh my gosh, your friend is such a loud girl. Like, I can't stand it. I don't know how you like." I'm gonna curse them all because I already knew the type of friend that I have from day one. But it gets to a point when you will have people who will literally be on someone's side who is just nasty, who is just negative. And you're wondering, how are you friends with this person? Because believe it or not, and it's something that I've learned as I gotten older, your friends are really a reflection of yourself. But there are also instances where people, they don't necessarily how should I say, they don't necessarily display the same characteristics like their friends, like they don't necessarily have the same personality type, but because they're so loyal, like the person will literally be making someone's life terrible, or they just don't have the best disposition, and there's this person just sticking by them, sticking up for them, and you're like, girl, what? Like, don't you have some shit? Like, I cannot stand a girl that does not have a backbone. Not everybody, as I stated, should be like, not everybody's going to be a leader. Not everyone has a strong personality. That is totally fine. But I personally can't stand when somebody is just in the shadows behind someone else, to the point where even if that person is negative, it's nothing to them. They just want to be there. They just want to worship them. They're just in awe of this person that they classify as their comrade. And I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't like it. And another, what I don't like, and I think that was three. Was that three? Another thing that I don't like are male centered girls. Like, I just start people at the end of the day, like assuming that most of us are straight, or assuming that who is on this thing is straight, right? You're going to want a companion. I get it. You are going to want a companion. We were not born to be alone, whether it's, well, in most cases, we're just gonna stick to the romantic aspect. Romantically, everybody wants somebody. I get it. Most people want somebody. But what I cannot stand is when a female's life is so, oh my, when I say it's just so consumed by males, like you literally have persons who are in friendships and you will never hear from that person when they're in a relationship. But as soon as the relationship goes awire, best believe your phone is loaded. Like, I've been there, I've done that, so I know what I'm talking about. Like, you have people who will literally cut you off because they're too busy in a relationship. Trust me, no. And I mean, like, you will literally have like good friendships that end because of one female being too consumed by a male. And I always look at life like this, like, every relationship is important. There are just some things that you cannot do in life without having a friend. And, or even if you do accomplish a lot in life, there's nothing wrong with having a friend by your side while you're accomplishing the goals, or there's nothing wrong with having companionship, in my opinion. But there are just some females, they have the companionship and they also have a relationship or a situationship, and they always let that ship come between the friendship that they had previously, and I will never understand it. And personally, because I have been through it before, I have decided, like, what I do differently nowadays is just to set boundaries. Boundaries in the sense that if you want to love your man, there's absolutely nothing wrong. If you want to prioritize your relationship, there's absolutely nothing wrong. But please don't call, if I see that there's a pattern where you only call me in trouble, like you're not, like when I say I'm rarely ever contacted or connected with you when things are smooth or when things are okay, best believe I'm going to walk away. Like, I'm not a therapist. Like, ew, like, no, I'm not going to do that. I am just not going to do that. And similar to what I was saying, because I was trying to like give a little, what would I do, or what do I do as a way to kind of sidestep all of these. Like, when it comes down to the girls, and the girls that blindly follow a group or a pact, and the person does not necessarily have that the best vibe or so, I just stay clear. Like I always say, I'd rather be a loner by myself than in bad company. Always. And this has been me from high school. Like there's many times where I've been in situation, because as you know, on my first, I think was it my first episode when I was talking about unrequited friendships, I've been there, I've done that. Like I've given love and never gotten it back, especially in friendships. But I have honestly reached a point in my life where I see if I don't like certain things, I'm just not even going to like, I'm putting my foot down and I'm walking out. That's just that. There's just some situations, there's just some relationships that should not happen. And yeah, and when it comes on to, as I stated, the whole idea even of being like a girls for the females, I always said it, my love language is words of affirmation. If somebody looks good, I have to ball out, you look good, like I have to do it. I will feel right if I don't tell somebody that they look good, right? So I'll consistently do that. That will never be something that is erased, but I just can't take the whole narrative of person saying that they're girls and this and that, but they're only girls when it's benefiting them. I just can't. And so because of that, I don't use the phrase. If people want to do it, no problem. It's not like a big deal where I'm like, "Oh, you're so disgusting because you say you're a girls. It's not like that. It's not that serious. But there are just some people. Some people that stated they're genuine, but there are just some people I'm like, you're not. Anyways, another thing that I wanted to talk about, and it was similar to the whole male centered females, the females who undervalue friendships. Like, I do not like you. I just do not like you. I don't hate you, but I just can't stand you. Especially when it's a case where this is a friendship that you've been eating from. And by eating, I don't mean financially. I don't mean, you're getting food from them. I mean, like, you have been literally reaping the benefits from the friendship. This is someone who has always showed up for you. This is someone who has always been there for you. This is someone you can, like, the world knows that this is your home girl, and it's almost like when you have something and you know that you have it, so you're not going to work as hard enough to keep it. Like the girls that do that with friendships, they don't check in, or if they do check in, it's because the world is ending. The girls that they forget your birthday, like, that's crazy to me. They forget your birthday, they forget important events, they don't show up when you think they would show up, they don't even give support, like, but because you're so dumb, like how I was dumb and I didn't understand that some people are just not that into you friendship wise, like the girls that allow you to get to that place where you feel like that, I don't like them. Like, I understand not everyone needs friends, and or no, not everyone wants friends. They say they don't need it, but not everyone wants friends. But there are people who like to think that they have friends, but in the same in the same breath of them having friends and they're telling the world about their friends, they treat them so badly, and I just can't stand y'all. I cannot. And so, similar to what I've been saying since the beginning, setting boundaries is just so essential in life. Who will genuinely appreciate you, you will meet them. If not, it's best for you to just hang by yourself, learn to trust in the Lord, learn to build a relationship with Him, and He'll be your friend until He honestly sends someone good in your life. Because it makes no sense being like a second fiddle for people, or being just being on the back bench, and like, I hate nothing worse than I hate than being a number two when I didn't have to be number two. Like the number one spot was there, and instead of you giving me a chance, I'm number two. I don't like that. I don't like that. Another thing that I honestly I just can't stand. The type of friends that tell your family and their friends your business. People, not to mention their man. Like, I don't know. I do not know. Like, there is just something about that just rubs me the wrong way. That just rubs me the wrong way. Imagine you telling like, I've seen it. As I say, like almost everything that I'm talking about, I've experienced it. Imagine you going through life, all right, let me just stop. There are some things that have to be shared. And I say that because sometimes if you as the individual cannot help this person in question, you might have to tell somebody else. You might say, that there has been cases where things have happened to people around me and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to address this, like serious things that I have to say. What is your opinion on this? Or how do you think I should proceed in order to help this person? But I mean, you have literally people though who on a daily basis sit and they talk about you with your family. Like it's like a family discussion. Like, would you believe that this and this? And you're not here say, or like, this is what happened with a relation. And I just like that blows my mind because my mother does not care. Why does your mother care? Like there is an extent to where it is acceptable because as I stated, especially if you're close with your people, especially if you're close with your mom, or I guess your man is your best friend, there are certain things that will come up in the discussion. But when it comes down to you telling them about the nitty gritty, how the breakup went, why you broke up, what he's been saying, like what happened at work, like you're not a good person. I'm sorry, you're just not a good person. You're not a good person. You cannot keep secrets. My secrets are not for you and the family. And yes, I've seen that before with myself. Like I've heard things happen. Like I've said something to somebody only to hear their family member repeat. I'm like, how did you know that? I've said things to a friend only for it to slip that it was said to their partner. People personally have reached a point when it comes down to relationships, when it comes down to the hardest parts of my life, until when it comes down to relationships, I'm keeping my mouth shut, right? The negative side of it, like, if I meet somebody and I need to tell them, oh, I'm no longer single, I'll tell them. If I tell somebody, if I meet someone and we get engaged, I'll tell them. If it's a wedding, I'll tell them. But you see that in between, the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows, I'm no longer sharing that. That's nobody's business unless it's about to send me somewhere I don't want to go, such as I don't even want to call it over my life, but you probably get the line. Unless it's a really toxic thing and I need some real assistance, I'm gonna keep it to myself. I'll work it out. We'll work it out together. And if it doesn't work out, I'll share it then. But you see that in between that, I'm not seeing anything because I'm not gonna be a hot topic. I've been a hot topic for people, and I think I honestly live such a very low key life. But I've seen myself as the hot topic. I've heard of myself being the hot topic, and I think it's crazy. So I've learned, and I think this is someone else. This is something that people can do. As of course, don't get me wrong. There are genuine friendships out there. This is for the people that it's happened to more than once. You've seen it happen. I've just decided I'm keeping it all in. Not until it explodes, but if I can keep it in, I'm keeping it in. When it comes on to the friendships now, you do have good friends, as I stated. But if it's a case where, well, what I've started to do, honestly, if I'm going through something tough, let me go through it and then I'll share the testimony after. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at life now. Let me go through the struggles, and then when it's over with and said and done, I'll tell you. I'll tell you all about it, what I went through in that moment. For multiple reasons. For me, for one, genuine people are hard to find, and for two, sometimes it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. You tell them. Not only do you have to worry about it being a hot topic, sometimes you tell people what you're experiencing, and it's like, why didn't I just record this to myself and then delete it? Like, it always gives that vibe. So yeah. So like that's another thing. And honestly as well, there is something else, like, and I think this is probably interconnected with some of the things that I said. But females, there are some females who like to play it cool, like they're neutral. I cannot stand a neutral girl. I'm sorry. Though, all right, let me just clear that up. From a biblical perspective, the Bible says that we're supposed to try and live at peace as much as possible with all man. I'm all for it. People, I know with all of the episodes and all of that, you're probably thinking she talks to nobody. I'm low key, just low key, a social butterfly on the surface. When it comes on to getting personal, that's where the emotions and all of the podcast episodes comes in, right? So I'm genuinely speaking. I'm the good morning, good night, how are you? If I see you alone, I have to see you, are you alone? If you're good, I'm just genuinely that type of person. Like, I'm empathetic at heart. Like, I've tried it so much not to be, but it's something that I've realized I'm empathetic, right? But there are some people who are neutral to a fault. Mhm. believe it or not. There are people who will literally, and I've seen it so many times and I just hate it. I've seen females talk bad about a female, and then like a 2 day or so, they're laughing with them, they're chatting with them, they're holding hands, they're like, and I'm like, I thought this was your enemy. So what they do essentially, it's not that they have like a personal vendetta against them. It's just that they don't necessarily mess with them as how it would appear. But instead of them setting boundaries or drawing lines, they just kind of play a role. Like they play as us Jamaicans they say they play fool to catch wise, right? So they're dilly dallying, but really and truly, if you check the statistics, if you really and truly were to launch an investigation or even compile the evidence that you have, you'd realize that they're really not friends. They just have to play a part. And I don't like that. I always say to myself, there is nothing wrong, and this is something that actually has been going on recently. There's nothing wrong with colleagues, associates, friends, neighbors. Like, there's nothing wrong with placing people in certain categories. Because why are you pretending as if you and this person is buddy buddy, but really and truly, I literally just heard you. Like, I can't. It's something that blows my mind. Like, I've heard people rant about people, and then I'm seeing these two like they're best friends, and I just don't get it. Or like they're coming from far. Like, what? And I'm not saying things won't happen, but why are you saying it in a manner as if this was low key your enemy, or this was someone that you were bitter to? Like, I just can't stand that. I honestly can't stand it. It's something that just ugh. And honestly, after this me ranting about what I don't like about females and talking about mean girls and all of that, I hope that y'all know how to proceed, because it's crazy out there. Like, honestly, don't, as easy as it seems to do, don't fire fire with fire. The best thing that you can do is honestly just find a corner by yourself and just keep pushing. And with that being said, right, I just want to say again, females are beautiful. There are some women out there who have beautiful emotional intelligence, who are so receptive, who are so warm. I've met a few of them, but they are out there, right? So it's not just a world filled with witches and spiteful females or anything of that sort. It's just that I've just seen, I don't know if it's a rise, I don't know if it's what um social media is teaching us nowadays, to be that girl. You have to put other people beneath you or below you. Like, I just don't get it. But with that being said, it's essential that we just know ourselves. It's essential that we understand that not every relationship is worth it. Not every friendship is worth it. And so because of that, we have to learn how to separate ourselves from toxicity. We have to learn how to understand that we won't fit into every crowd. And most importantly, as a female, as a woman, your one of your purposes is to nurture, to give life. And I don't just mean physically giving birth, but sometimes we have to be that piece. We have to reflect, similar to how Mother Nature nurtures and cares for the things that is on the earth. I just feel like we have to kind of resemble that in turn. We have to be not, to be honest, people, I'm not some soft, gentle, meek and mild type of woman. Like, I'm not like that. I'm not telling that everybody needs to have one this one dimensional personality where everybody's just dilly dally and giggling and no, it's not everyone will be like that. But there are just certain aspects of a female that I feel like all of us should have. Like, there are just certain traits we should all have, and some women do have it and some women don't. And with that being said, thank you for, yes. So the big finale, um and film. But until then, stay tuned.